First of all, thank everyone for coming. There's so many faces here. Many I do not know. A number that I do know. I like to say that it's one of the things that I do that's a complete pleasure, quite frankly, is to be able to acknowledge individuals that have meant so much to our community and to our Commonwealth. And that's what this celebration is about. Zachary Cottongim fulfilled a lifelong dream when he was hired as an LMPD officer in September of 2014, following in the footsteps of his dad, Dale. Zach was a graduate of Edmonson County High School and went on to receive his degree in criminal justice from Damar College. Zach also was a probationary training officer and aspired to someday work as an LMPD traffic officer. On December 18, 2021, Zach lost his life in the line of duty while attending to an abandoned vehicle on Interstate 64 here in Louisville. At the time of his death, he was a 7-year veteran assigned to the 1st Division, which includes Portland, Russell, and the Butchertown neighborhoods. By all reports, he loved serving the citizens of the 1st Division, the teamwork, and his patrols with his best friend, Sean Sargent. It is reported that he was a tech nerd, enjoyed fishing, and loved playing with his sons, Riley and Alexander, and spending family time with his lovely wife, Jamie, and other family members who are here with us today. By all accounts, he was bright, talented, committed to his work, and caring. These traits benefited the community as he provided the service that brought him respect and recognition. He was a shining example of what a police officer should be. There's a story that has been shared which exemplifies his character. It is told as an example that he supplied a bus ticket and helped to pay part of the rehabilitation costs of an individual struggling with addiction, and others were encouraged by that to be like Zach. He was an example. He was an example that we all should emulate. So we are here today in celebration of Officer Zachary Cottongim. We have several speakers here today, and I'm going to ask them to come up in this order. State Senator Karen Berg, State Representative Pamela Stevenson, and Mayor Greg Fisher. I'm also going to ask Officer Brandon Lincoln to speak on behalf of Ryan Nichols, who can't be with us today. I want to acknowledge Ryan Straw. Where is Ryan Straw? I want to acknowledge Ryan Straw because Ryan Straw, in the tradition of the Ryan Nichols of the world, or vice versa, are those that stand up to try to make sure that people in this community understand the importance of what law enforcement and protecting and serving is all about. But also, what we fail to remember many times is that we're talking about human beings. We're talking about people. We're talking about friends and neighbors, husbands and fathers.
As I stand here today to commemorate Officer Zachary Cottongim, I'm honestly overwhelmed because we have an entire family here. His family in blue, his wife, his father, his children, and how do you, as an elected state representative, how do I express the depth of both my gratitude for his service and his devotion to this community, and the depth of loss for the community, for his coworkers, for his friends, for his beautiful family, and for those of us he swore to serve and protect, and he did so. Clearly, Officer Cottongim was one of the good ones. He devoted his adult life to serving and protecting our community, and our ability to say thank you and to commemorate his life to the best that we can pales compared to the sacrifice that so many of you in this room have made. I can say thank you. I can say I support you. I can say that I will do anything I can to help you with your mission. And mostly I can say I am so sorry for your personal loss. I hope this honor to your son, your husband, your father serves as a lasting reminder of the legacy of what a good life, a life well lived, means, and what we as a community can do to celebrate that life with you and to remember this good man. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for your work. Thank you, each and every one of you, for what you do for us and for our community. May his memory be a blessing. Thank you.
You know, my name is Pamela Stevenson, and I did serve in the United States Air Force. And one of the things that I recognize is the family. Like, I couldn't do what I did without my family. And that you raised a son that was willing to live for something bigger than self and to give all says a whole lot about this family. And yes, it is a plaque, but it can be much more. It can be every time you drive by, you say, that's who I'm gonna be like. It can be when you see his children, you can say, that's who your dad was for this whole community. See, it doesn't just stop right here by attending a nice service. We each get to decide, we get to choose, are we gonna be like Zach? Are we gonna be the ones that put community over self so that the community can win? We always say, because I'm sort of a Baptist preacher, except that sometimes I cuss, that earth has no sorrow that heaven can't heal. And yet it doesn't feel like it. Here's how we honor them. Thank you for raising that type of son. Thank you for having children and grandchildren whom you will make sure will never forget who this man was. And for the rest in blue, thank you for living up to the promise of America. Thank you for every day going out, not knowing what's going to happen. You could be stopping to get something to drink, and something happens. At least in the military, I knew where the bullets were going to come from. You don't, and yet you serve. Let your service be in honor of what's possible. Let your service be in honor of what he saw was possible. 29 years old? He will live through us if we allow him to. Thank you. God bless you. God keep you.
Thank you, Colonel, and good afternoon, everybody. Jamie, Dale, the entire team. Thank all of our LMPD officers here and those from other agencies as well. Zach Cottongim was born and raised here, right in Kentucky. And it's fitting now that we're going to have a memorial sign dedicated to him placed along the highway where he gave his life. This sign is going to remind us of his life. Senator Neal, I want to thank you for initiating and making all of this happen. We know and we've heard here already, being a good police officer is a lot more than just you. You know, it's really about believing it's about we, not me, that collective good that steps up. And it does take a special person to see that and understand that and to live that. And we all know, we see that through his dad and dedicating your life to the training academy right now, which I'll thank you again every time I see you for that. But when we think about Zach and how he lost his life after 7 years with LMPD, he was already known as Dale, a veteran officer, said he was 100% protect and serve. As someone would go out of his way to honor his job and being a proud policeman and to do his best and lift people up that were all around him. And I saw this play out in action where I had the honor to meet Dale and Zach working together at the Germantown Blues Festival. And I was like, who are these two cops? One kind of tall, one not as tall. But they sure look like they're having a good time together, but they seem to be different ages. So I went over there and I said, Cottongim, what's this all about? And I heard the story, you know, of how Zach came into policing and wanted to be like his dad. And I was so inspired by that when I witnessed both the love that they had for each other and the love that they had for their jobs as well. And I can tell you, you know, speaking as a fellow dad and a fellow public servant, I just don't know how it gets any better than that. It's really great. So all of this is going to be remembered and memorialized by this sign, the kind of shining example that Zach left for all of us and that he lived as well. This sign is a marker to that testimony because it's a lot more than a piece of metal up here. It's a recognition of so many things, not just him as a police officer and the dedication to the line of duty, but those also that worked with him, that came to the service from all over the country, all over our different interstates, from north to south and east to west. This sign is part of Zach's ongoing watch, and the watch that all police officers have and demonstrate each and every day. I-64 runs 953 miles through Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Virginia. And now on a stretch in Zach's Kentucky, a portion of that ribbon of that highway will be named for him. And people, tens of thousands of people, are going to drive by that sign every day on their way to work, to play, to destinations, to destinies. In a way, he's still going to have his watch over them. And I hope they do. And when they look at that sign and they see the name Zach Cottongim up there, many will do their research and say what was so special about this young man. And they'll find out, and I hope in so doing that, they'll take a little bit of Zach with them. And it's a blessing to be able to influence people the way he has as we continue to work through the loss of a good man. So thank you to everybody here, to the family. Again, God bless you during these difficult times.
Good afternoon. Appreciate everybody being here. On behalf of the River City Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge 614, President Ryan Nichols, all the members, and myself, we want to thank Senator Gerald Neal for bringing this resolution forward, getting it passed in the Senate. He worked very hard in collaboration with others, I'm sure, but it's a great tribute to a wonderful person. Zach dedicated his life to this community. He dedicated his life to his family. He loved everything about both those things. And I can see why. Dale still works for us at LMPD today. Wonderful human being. He raised a great son. This memorial sign does two things. It reminds each and every one of us every day that wear this uniform how dangerous this job is. It also reminds us no run is just an easy run. Bad things can happen at a moment's notice. It also reminds this community that the men and women that wear this uniform go out every single day to work hard for this community and do right by them and keep everyone safe and protected. So again, I want to thank everyone on behalf of our lodge, all 2,500 plus members. Thank you, Senator. Appreciate everything. Appreciate the family for being here. Appreciate all the command staff, chief, mayor. Thank you all very much.
The story of Officer Zachary Cottongim is one of family, service, and a lifelong commitment to the welfare of others. Zach was born on May 15, 1992. He grew up in Edmonson County as one of 6 children and later graduated from Edmonson County High School. He went on to receive a degree in criminal justice from Daymar College. Zach's dad, Dale, was also a Louisville police officer, and from an early age, Zach knew he wanted to follow in his dad's footsteps. In September of 2014, he achieved that dream, joining the LMPD. He served there for 7 years and had been assigned to the 1st Division. Zach also proudly served as a probationary training officer, training rookie officers in the LMPD. He loved the teamwork within the 1st Division, his command staff, and his patrols with his best friend, Sean Sargent. The only thing he loved more was his wife and 2 sons, and made time to play with them every night, no matter how busy or how tired he was. And he lived his life as an example of compassion and giving. Zach once paid for a bus ticket and part of the rehab costs for a stranger struggling with addiction. He was a self-described tech nerd who loved fishing and playing with his sons. His former principal said Zach was one of those people you knew was a good soul down deep inside and that he cared for other people. Zach was also lifted up as a shining example of what every police officer should strive to be.
Zach embodied all that we covet. He was young, healthy, good-looking, successful, and with an incredible support system of family and friends. I believe that professionally, he was on a path that would have had no boundaries, in large part because his approach to policing, like life, was positive, forward-thinking. And those are the cops who excel. But our shared vulnerabilities have allowed us to know how to embrace our heroes. And Zach is absolutely a hero.
The day got heavy today. The heart gets heavy. I just want to start by saying thank you to all of you, senators, who have made it a priority to remember Zach. The fact that you made the effort and the commitment to honor his legacy and his sacrifice means more to all of us than you will ever know. Thank you. Zach was obviously a very talented and caring individual who cared for others and for the community. And for those of us in law enforcement, the community often means strangers. And is there a more selfless profession than when you will put your life on the line for complete and absolute strangers daily? He followed in his dad Dale's footsteps, choosing a career that would place obviously many demands on his person, but rewards that are only felt and experienced by those few who have the honor of serving in public service. The price that Zach paid, however, was so much higher than what most of us will ever have to experience, endure. And as such, we have an obligation to remember him, to share him with his young sons, Riley and Alexander, to embrace his wife, Jamie, who I might add often gets overlooked, but is very much a City of Louisville Police Department employee and a valued member of our department. And Dale, who I see on a regular basis. We're fortunate. We're fortunate. You folks embody what is policing. Its tradition, its history, its family. I am so grateful for the continued dedication and hard work of all of you out there wearing the uniform that I have an honor of wearing today. Your strength and resilience is so commendable, and I don't say that lightly. And I cannot say thank you loud enough to all of you here who have made it a priority to remember Zach. We have an obligation to do so, and I have confidence that this community will do just that. Thank you.
The tragic accident this signage will memorialize happened in my Metro Council district. Senator Neal asked me to help find a location near here for today's ceremony, and I want to thank the Girl Scouts of Kentuckiana for generously offering this space. Zach's death reminded us once again of the danger that law enforcement officers face every day, not just dealing with violent offenders, but helping keep motorists safe on our roadways. Every year, dozens of officers in the United States are killed in vehicle accidents, 33% of all line-of-duty deaths in the last decade, according to one report. Learning about Zach also reminded us of the good, selfless, dependable, compassionate, and respectful actions we regularly depend on from law enforcement officers, and we saw from Zach. Every one of those adjectives was used by people commenting on Zach following his death, by other police officers, by family members, and by advocates for our homeless neighbors, among many others. I hope this memorial signage will continue to remind us of the hazards officers face every day to protect us, and the qualities people like Zach bring to their work every day.
I'm gonna keep this brief because I can talk a lot, especially about Zach. So, again, my name is Officer Sean Sargent. I met Zach in 2014 as a fellow recruit in LMPD's Metro Academy Class 30. We both were assigned to the 1st Division, and our friendship began shortly after, having worked together as beat partners in the downtown area for nearly 7 years. As many know, we were practically inseparable. Unlike me, Zach knew from an early age he wanted to be a police officer, following after his dad. I will say, once he found his way within the department, he embodied everything it was to be an officer. He understood the commitment and dedication and professionalism that came along with it. And it was an honor having worked alongside such an amazing officer and an amazing person. As police officers, we often go through situations and experiences that others don't have to. We see things daily that others don't have to or wouldn't want to, and even encounter dangers that others have no idea how to react to or handle. But that's what makes us police officers, and that's the commitment that we make. And because of that, we create bonds like no other. And it is only us and our families who truly understand that bond. And that's what the Thin Blue Line represents. It is not only our duty to the community, but our obligations to each other to make sure that we make it home at the end of the shift. Zach loved his job. He loved coming to work every day. To Zach, every day was filled with the excitement of whatever the day had in store for us. That's a good feeling to be around daily. He was the glue that held everyone together on our platoon. And in so many ways, Zach not only made me a better officer, but a better person in general. It's without a doubt in my mind that he truly made a difference with the people that we encountered daily. And that's truly what this profession is about, impacting people. Although Zach was nearly 10 years younger than me, we shared so many of the same values and views on life. And I think that's probably why our friendship came so easy. The only thing he loved more than policing was his family. He was not only an amazing husband, but a great father, great son, and a sibling to those who in his family circle. About 9 months before Zach passed, I made the biggest decision I had to make in my career, and that was leaving Louisville Metro Police for St. Matthews Police. There was many factors that played a part of that decision. The policing aspect I could handle regardless, and I knew that. But what truly made the decision the hardest was leaving Zach. I can honestly say that. And I know it tore him up as much as it did me. And even afterwards, there wasn't a day that went by that we didn't speak or share our stories. Being on different departments, although it wasn't the same for neither one of us, it wasn't enough to break up our bond. So losing Zach after the fact, knowing that I wasn't there, for me, made that loss even so much harder. Moving on, all we have are all the amazing memories and experiences that we share from us fortunate enough to call him a friend or family. Things will never be the same. He was truly a great man, and it was an honor not only to call him the best beat partner I've ever had, but my best friend.
Thank you for those words. Jamie, I'm going to ask you, if you will, to come up here if you feel up to that. Sean, I'm going to ask you, Dale, those who are here, if you would please come around. It is because of who Zach was, what Zach gave him himself to protect and serve, a shining example that he provided to light the way, that we are here in celebration of his life. And no matter how inadequate this gesture of public recognition, Interstate 64 in Jefferson County from the Story Avenue overpass to the Grinstead Drive overpass will always stand tall in our memory of Zach Cottongim. There it is.